What's up, everybody? It's your boy Joseph Saki back with another video. You know it. Anyways, guys, today for this video, guys, I'm gonna be talking about the things when I used to grow up, guys. The three channels I usually watched on TV were Nickelodeon, Disney Channel, and Cartoon Network. I'm not gonna list the shows because there was like a bunch of shows that I watched, and it would take up the entire video. But basically, what I want to talk about in those three channels is Disney Channel mostly. And for example, what I want to give you, for example, if you watch Disney Channel movies today, they're alright, they're okay, they're cool. But the 2000 Disney Channel movies were the greatest Disney Channel movies ever. For a lot of reasons. And one for personal for me is they were a lot edgier than the ones we watch today. Meaning, like, they had some adult jokes in there, like maybe teenage jokes about one's definitely, a couple of them are about sex, and a couple of them are about relationships and stuff like that, and female anatomy and male anatomy and all the type of stuff. It was so fun. And also some of the movies that have dealt about race and religion and all that type of cool, funny stuff or interesting stuff. Not funny stuff. Sorry, not funny. Interesting stuff. One of them that comes to mind is about, I forgot what the movie's title was, but it's about a family, an African American family who hosts a girl from Africa, South Africa, to come in and visit. And South Africa is at the time of the movie's taking place. I think it's early 2000s, and to this day, it was not to this day, but at some extent, was a very racist country, and it was still technically wasn't during the year the movie was made. And the girl who's from South Africa is white, and the African American family is obviously African American, so they're black. But it's and it deals with race, religion, and acceptance. And it was about how these two people from two different worlds became friends. And it was a very good story. I actually liked it a lot when I watched it. Another good one was the bowling. It was about kids in a school whose dad's whose dad runs a bowling alley, and he and his friends go to the bowl every week or after school and go bowling for fun. But they're actually part of the bowling club at the school. They don't know that, and the school, and then anyways, what happens is, the school has the school's rival is actually the town next over, and they're fighting over this Apple award or trophy that basically gives that each whoever wins the most competitions in the school year gets that trophy. And this is the last year they're doing it, and they want the trophy to go back to their town. Well, the problem is, in the end of the show, or end of end of their last game, the other team ends up winning, tying the points, so they have to have a tiebreaker. And so they just choose the bowling club, and the mayor's son, who's also the top star for every single team, is going to be put on the bowling club, but he doesn't know how to bowl at all. He's horrible at it. I know how to bowl, guys. I'm pretty good at it, actually. I'm not professional good, but I'm pretty good. If you want to see, I have a bunch of bowling trophies up there. That's all from me from when I was a kid. Anyways, and a couple of them were for baseball too, but most of them were for bowling. Anyways, back to the video. So he basically did so they taught him how to bowl and shit, and they had some differences because they're not really cool, but he's cool. And it also the story tells you how to be a good friend, because the kid who becomes his later good friends with him basically says, oh well, yeah, you are the ones helping us, you're the team captain, so here, let's go to a party, let's forget about everyone else. And in the end, they end up winning the game because of one girl when the main character gets a 7-10 split, which is pretty much the hardest split thing you can do in bowling, is to get all two pins in a 7-10 split. A 7-10 is like being caught in a rock and a hard place, literally in the story of the Odyssey. By the way, for all of you who don't know, that's my favorite phrase in the English language, is being caught in the rock and a hard place. Anyways, go back to that. Go back to that. Okay, so literally, the only reason they win is because the one guy, the kid, didn't use his substitution, which means he can be substituted for his turn with another player, and the girl who's is severely good with turn 10 splits goes up, does the thing, and beats it, and that's how they win the game by a spare at the end of the game. They win by a spare, and that's how they win the game, and they end up going and all this cool thing, and the dads, the sons, everyone, and then they go back to have a bowling party. It was a great movie. I thought it was very funny. It was very good. Anyways, back to what I'm saying. Like, movies like Hocus Pocus. This one, oh my god, this one was kind of scary, had some funny lines, and I'm being serious. There's only a few movies I can claim that makes me cry to this day, and Hocus Pocus is one of them for that ending, the original ending, where the guys, where the guys in a ghost form, the kid, and his sister is calling him, and she's like, "Where have you been?" I actually watched it with my parents, and I started crying again. My mom's like, "Josh, are you crying?" I said, "Yes, I am." I just get very emotional at this scene. And he says, and it's probably my favorite line in this entire show or movie, and he says, "I'm sorry," I forgot his sister's name. "I had to wait 200 and something years for a virgin to light a candle." And that's the end of the story. That was the end of the movie. By the way, if you didn't know, this movie is Hocus Pocus is basically these three witches that had terrorized Salem, Massachusetts, along in the 1600s, were burned at the stake, and were sentenced. Were said to have left a black candle in their house/museum that's now a museum, and state that if a virgin on Halloween night lights the candle, they will be brought back from the hell and work, and then be able to do whatever they want until sundown, unless they can take the soul of or consume the life energy of children, which in my view is very fucked up, but whatever. Very good book, very good show, very good movie. I just picked up the sequel, the written book version of the sequel. They're making a sequel to the book, or to the movie. I'm going to be starting to read it soon, most likely this afternoon if I get the chance, or tomorrow afternoon, and I will be telling you guys what I think of it. After I'm done with the book, I'll even give you a review. Anyways, back to that. So there's other movies I could give you. There's one about the Boogeyman. Halloween Town would be a good version of it up until the fourth movie. The fourth movie is when it gets to it gets drowned out, and it's more. Actually, no. Fourth movie still has some dirty scenes in it. I'm not gonna lie. Fourth movie still has some dirty scenes in it. By the way, Halloween Town probably was my favorite Halloween movie to watch on Disney Channel. Second would be Hocus Pocus. And I used to watch Halloween Town religiously. Like when they used to say, "Oh, we're introducing a new Halloween Town, Halloween Town 2, Kalamal's Revenge." I'm like, yes! Or when they say, "We're introducing another Halloween Town, Halloween Town High," yes! Then they said Halloween Town U, and I'm like, oh, can you just stop, please? I mean, High was good enough. You started to fuck it over for me, but whatever. You, I think, was the least well liked of the four they made. Up to me, I like 2 and 3. I don't like 1 as much as I used to, but that's just my prerogative. You could say whatever you want about 3 or 2 or whatever you want to say. I just liked 2 and or 1 or I don't like 1 as much anymore. I liked 2 and 3. One of my favorites, okay, back to another version I'll give you. Okay, alright, my favorite character in Halloween Town is actually not Marnie, not her. Actually, I liked her brother, but that's not my favorite character. It's the skeleton cab driver, Benny. I loved Benny, and that's because I can tell Benny's Italian, be the way he talks, and I'm from an Italian family on my dad's side, and I grew up with my grandma, who basically is a male version of Benny the skeleton. in some form, and it was just like, you know, whenever I saw Benny, I saw my grandma basically. And he made a joke like, you know, I've actually learned some of his comedic jokes from him one time. I think one of the jokes was, a skeleton goes into a bar, or what does the skeleton say before he eats? And then they both, the thing Marty and them say, I don't know, bon appetit. Something like that. Yeah, get it? Anyways, guys, that's it for this video. I don't remember a lot of other movies they made. They made a couple. One with a blind guy. I know they made that one. They made one where a guy switches, girl switches bodies. I think either that's a recent one or it's a new one. I think it's a recent one, if I'm not mistaken. But all these were good ones. They made a bunch of our Disney Channel movies that were like made from TV shows. But mainly that's the one. Oh, Even Stevens, the movie. That was a good movie, too. That had some adult jokes in it. It was pretty funny. Anyways, guys, like, comment, subscribe. I will see you in the next video, guys. And catch you later.